fight the way. Meeting you at the end of the days, only excitement's pay. Break it down, you a whole nother lane, there ain't no time to wait. Set it up, now the comments in play, what does the darkness say? Kill them all with a fucking disgrace, you cannot fight the way. Meeting you at the end of the days, only excitement's pay. Break it down, you a whole nother lane, there ain't no time to wait. Set it up, now the comments in play, what does the darkness say? Kill them all with a fucking disgrace. Give me that feeling, got me struck. Dodgers is in, waiting to bust. Dodgers don't wait for you, yell out as fuck. Invasion and killing, I stay on the hunt. Plot when I'm killing you niggas is lust. Dead when I lust, and evil we trust. You under the eye, I illuminate much. Circle around like a shark for the blood. The ran with the hounds in the hood for the bus. Didn't get much but the envy of us. Back to the dark, it was easy to love. This story reality, the bathroom we speak. Leave it to me, feral venom, I'm up. Leave it to bleed the next gen straight fuck. Evil is these and the seas that we love. Came out the wave, I done red of the blood. Splattering the page in the temple of dust. Slapping his face, but he cannot get up. Backspacing race legacy got a snub. Think every place I am holding the grudge. Think it don't matter, black matter the pace. Came out the way for the tsunami the pace. This building laws and we build at a rate. It's killing you, die off a symbol of race. Illusions of graduate appear in your face. The deadly is dancing, we're up in the cake. Believing the answer, the lies in the way. You signed on that line, so I'm sealing your fate. Roll out the carpet to walk into grave. Say the blood for the just business these days. Can't pick what I love or the blood of the red. Can't pick what I love or the blood of the pain. You cannot fight the way. Meeting you at the end of the days, only excitement's pay. Break it down, you a whole nother lane. There ain't no time to wait. Set it up, now the karma's in play. What did the darkness say? Kill them all with a fucking disgrace. Can't fight the way. You can't fight the way.
Alrighty. Now that we got all that out the way, I'm your boy Feral Venom 911. This is another episode of, I guess we'll start calling this The Wave from now on my channel called The Nine. Got a thing with the. So today I want to talk about a couple of current events, a couple of things that just been on my mind, and some real life stuff that's going on. I don't feel like these YouTubers or YouTube personalities talk enough about their actual life. So I'm gonna try to do my best to kind of delve into that for you guys. So before we get to all of that, I want to talk about this whole Tasha K thing, you know, and it's kind of cringy for me to even talk about because it's just like, I don't know, I don't really care, but there's implications in this shit that lead down the line, you know what I mean? Like, people have kind of been running rampant online and saying whatever they want to say about whoever they want to say something about to get clicks and views and all this other stuff. And now that there's defamation lawsuits actually being granted to people, whether they got, you know, money or not, or a good legal team or not, there's a precedent being set. Precedents being set. And I just feel like it's going to change the landscape of the way a lot of things go down from now on as far as content goes. You know what I mean? Some people will double down to get near to what Tasha K's results are, and they won't care if they get sued or not. They're just like, as long as I enjoy the ride, you know, as long as I got, you know, the collateral damage doesn't matter to them. You know, they're not thinking about the whole thing through. They just want to clout up. So I don't go out my way for clout. That's why it's kind of cringy even talking about this, because I really don't care. Like, my day-to-day has nothing to do with this stuff, and if it does come up, it's like a 2-second thing. It's never something that really has too much of my attention, besides when I listen to YouTube and hear other YouTubers talking about it, which I actually find hilarious. Mainly just because of the pettiness of it all. Like, there's a lot of people being really petty, and a lot of them are men. And I get it. It's funny at a certain extent, but then it gets to a point where it's just like, y'all been waiting for somebody like Tasha K or Cynthia G to have another mishap so y'all can rejoice again. And I don't think there should be that much focus on it. Now, with the shit that happened with her, okay, cool. She got her comeuppance and all that other shit, but it's not gonna stop her. It's not gonna stop her from doing what she's. If anything, she's gonna feed off of this and try to flip it. You know what I mean? If she's smart, then she'll find some way to try to flip this without saying any more inflammatory things about people and their lives, their characters, you know, their livelihood and how they make their living and et cetera, their children and things like that. I think there's another way that this could be done for Tasha K, and I'm in no way rooting for her, but I'm just saying in the spirit of the hustle, the show must go on. A lot of people subscribe to her. She got over 1 million subscribers. Not just about to go away overnight. It's not. You know what I mean? Just like with the Derrick Jackson thing. She exposed Derrick Jackson, and most people thought, oh, he gonna lose all the female followers he's got. Not. You tripping. Them bitches need hope, and that man was providing it by the boatload. Okay? They want to believe that there is still simps out here like that, and there are, but most of them don't look like Derrick Jackson. Most of them don't got money and time on their hands and money, I guess a good looks, if you know. And I'm in no way, shape, insecure or nothing like that. He looks good to certain women, but not my preference. So I just feel like with this whole Tasha K thing happening and with the whole Cardi B thing happening, she's going to be able to kind of make different moves for different things now, because she was brought out like, oh, okay, you do that, and now you lied to get that, and now you're going to be put into a situation where it's like, okay, now you got to do that without the lying part. You see what I'm saying? So if she's able to do it without the lying part, which is the position she's been put in, cool. That's what's up. I'd love to see it. I'd probably, you know what I mean, subscribe myself and start to tune in, because it's facts behind what she's saying. Now, I've seen the episode when the Derrick Jackson shit was going on. Oh, in the R. Kelly shit. I forgot all about that. In the R. Kelly shit. She be getting folks to really tap in with her. Rather she pay them or they give her the information just because they trying to cloud up or be a part of the whole situation or whatever. She get folks to tap in with her with information, and I think that's really cool. I think it's really dope that people believe in you enough or want to be petty enough, or you know what I mean, whatever it is, it's some type of group organization she has going on. It's some type of camaraderie with her fans, supporters, or whatever. And I don't think that's just going to die out because she was caught lying, because they knew she was lying. They knew, you know, what Cardi B's threats were about, you know, the video being up and if she don't take it down and whatnot. And just like she said in court, clicks and views. She didn't give a damn about none of that. Neither do her fans, to be honest. And it's that matter of factness that they all rather rest on. That's what the fanship or brotherhood, the clique, the Tasha K's fans or whatever. I'm trying to think of what she calls them. Winos, I believe it's Winos. That just sounds weird, but yeah, I believe it's Winos. I don't think that they gonna just sip wine and they're matter of fact about, you know, hearing this bitch talk shit. The lie is better than the truth oftentimes. They here for the tea. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. And she'll make her motherfucking money one way or another. And like I said, kudos, man. Just as long as she stay out these lawsuits, that's gonna have her bent over for the rest of her career, or at least the next couple of years with that YouTube money. I mean, shit, cause if you got 1 million subscribers, how long does it take you to make $1.3 million? Tasha K pay the taxes, or is there just no taxes in this situation? I don't see the government just being like, oh yeah, 1.3 million. I don't want to know. Don't see that fucking happening. So I don't really know how that goes with defamation lawsuits. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a different set of rules for that. What I do know though is that Cardi B gonna show her ass. Cardi B gonna show her ass. I don't know if she gonna stunt publicly about this, or maybe she gonna do a secret party with her folks and things like that, and just turn up on Tasha K dime because she know that that bag about to hit, that big bag. You know what I mean? Probably not the biggest bag she done seen. I mean, shit, she be giving Offset money every year. But I'm just saying, like, to get a bag off a bitch because she was talking shit and wouldn't quit. Oh, that's it. That's some legit ass shit right there. For real. And honestly, it's some shit that a lot of motherfuckers wish they could do. You know how many motherfuckers done talk shit about me and my own motherfucking family and friend circles and shit like that, co-workers and stuff? Man, if that shit was to the point where I felt like it was inflammatory and I knew I could do something about it, lawsuit. You work for me now. I don't give a shit. Watch your goddamn mouth. Keep me out your mouth. For sure. Because I don't be coming for nobody, but if it was the case where I can just might have to get you. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd like to be a fly in the wall and see Cardi B turn up session after the verdict. That must have been some real entertaining niggery going on in there. You know what I mean? Because the PR training she's got is cool, but when I look at Cardi B, I see a wild nigga still. I still see the same chick that I saw 2015 out there being saying herself that, you know, real hoes don't get cold. Happy hoes don't get cold. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but along those lines and things like that. And wearing a rather skimpy outfit, I don't see any change. I don't see any change from the chick who was out there scrapping with Nicki Minaj and her crew and coming out the Met with a lump. I don't see any difference. All I see is that she had to get it. So the turn-up's gonna be real. The turn-up's gonna be lit. Shit, she may even drop some bars in the next little album or project that she got coming out. You know what I mean? She might even do some shit as petty as start a females movement about not disparaging each other or whatnot after, and then pay for it with the bag that she got from Tasha K. Tax write-off, like a motherfucker. Now that's some boss ass shit. Yeah, bitch, that little 1.3 million you gave me, yeah, I gave it to the children. And wrote it the fuck off. I gave it to the people less fortunate. You know what I mean? I gave it back to the Bronx. You know what I mean? Like, that's some dope stuff right there. That's some, you know, that's some dream stuff. But someone put in a position to do things like that to, like I said, set a precedent. And I think going forward, a lot of people are going to be more cautious about what they say about different people. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be too many big lawsuits like there was between Tasha K and Cardi B. Most people that I see on YouTube are pretty good about saying allegedly and fair use and all these other things to kind of let them skate by and dodging the mentioning the. There's been so many words to describe this, I don't know which one to pick. The jabba dabba do. The stab. You know what I mean? Talking about that, trying to dodge around that so the algorithm doesn't pick them up or whatever the fuck. So they don't get busted. I've seen so many people do things like that I just wonder, like, at what point, what, were you going to wait till like 5 million subscribers until you just start kind of taking this serious and editing yourself a little, or fact checking, or at least just coming with real content that was not inflammatory slander. Like, at what point was that going to happen? Because you got to make that transition at some point if you actually want to be legit. You can't be out here looking like the National Enquirer. You can't be out here doing that. It's just not a good look. Not if you want to be trusted as somebody who, even your fans come to as a source with sources. It'll make them feel like, damn, man, everything you say is a lie. If I bring you some shit, they gonna think I'm capping. Just because your ass be capping. That shit's crazy. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent on that. I ain't really want to talk about that. I just feel like a lot of YouTubers, like I said earlier, they don't talk too much about their personal life. So I'm going to get into that a little bit before I get back into current events. So, if you've seen my other videos called My Crazy, Part 1 and 2, they're both technically the same recording, just got split up by phone call. But yeah, I kind of tell how when I was born to older brothers. I had 2 older brothers. We're all a year apart. And then we have a younger sister that's 2.5 years younger than me. And we were all split up when my father was murdered in 94. A little bit before my little sister, probably like a month or 2, he was killed in our home. So that started with, now that I'm 30 years old, I can kind of look back at it now in retrospect. It started what was a snowball effect, you know what I mean, a curse. And I don't know, I guess you could say things were cool for a while. We were starting to kind of gain some type of normalcy. I could go out there on the summertime and spend it with them, and things like that. That's the bulk of the time where I got to see them. And I always wish we just had more time. You know what I mean? My older brother, Tamar and Jamar, they were everything to me at a certain point because I knew I was them. I just knew we were separated, and it was only so long that I'd get to be with them. You know what I mean? Having to go home and you crying because you want to stay and play with your brother is like, that feeling never left me. Even as an adult, I never wanted to leave my brother. I always just felt like we were the best and we could do anything and we could be successful at anything. But that's not how life has been. That's not how things have turned out. There hasn't been that many type of opportunities or choices that people have made that have led us down that route. Now, as of December 16th, I believe, I was told on the 17th, I just lost my middle brother, my older brother, Jamar. Now, Jamar, he was always kind of, I don't want to say like a problem child, but he very much, had that middle child thing going on, or, about him. Sometimes he had to get in trouble, get smacked upside the head and yelled at and told to get the shovel in the shit. And then sometimes he'd just be like, you know, fuck that, I got shit I want to do later. Let me just do it. But rarely, you know what I mean? My brother was very much a, I want to do what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it type of person. And that was all fine and dandy underneath my grandma's rule until she died suddenly when he was 15. I'm not going to say there's speculation around my grandmother's death because I haven't heard any speculation. But I didn't know how my grandmother died for many, many years. And I'm still not 100% clear because I was told a stroke. And then I was also told something else with. So, still going to fact check that. But at this current point in time, when my grandmother died, it left my brothers orphans. They weren't raised by their mom. Our dad was dead, and our grandmother, who had taken them in, was now dead. And it was just impossibly hard to wrap your mind around what they lost when I was in the Bay Area living with my mama, who I've always been with since our dad had died. Like, I lost my grandmother, but I didn't lose my home. My brothers lost our grandmother in their home and was forced to go into the streets and do what they had to do, rather than be, you know, go live with abroad or whatever. I mean, honestly, I'd have to go back and ask my brother, my oldest brother, how they survived those times, because I was so busy trying to do what I was doing in high school and trying to get my first apartment and things like that in the coming years. I didn't really know. You know what I mean? Like I said, there was always that disconnect, not living in the same place. There was always that part of being alienated from our power together, not being able to work together completely to do what we needed to do for each other and our family. That foundation was, you know, taken from us yet again. So, we continue on. I go down there. I ended up going down there when I was like 17. And my brothers tell me that, I mean, what happened to the house that they were living in when my grandma died, the house we grew up in. And they were telling how our own family members put them out the house so they could rent it to somebody else. I mean, I understand it's a 3-bedroom house. Two teenagers can't, you know, at 16 and 17, they can't possibly pay a rent when they don't even have jobs. Haven't even graduated high school yet. You know what I mean? Like, so paying rent was like out the question. You know what I mean? But I don't think evicting them was the right solution, especially when our family owned the house. You know what I mean? I don't think the things that I heard about happening to my great-grandfather was a solution, but I didn't take care of him. I wasn't there. He wasn't my direct father to be responsible for. You know what I mean? You got people who are, you know, working for big companies and stuff like that and got their own families. You know, there's only so much room in your life for somebody else who's retired. And I guess the same went for my brothers, but it's just fucked up because they're young men cut loose in this world with no guidance. And my brother Jamar, let's just say he went left when my other brother went right. So whereas for one of my brothers, and they both had kids almost a year, the following year after my grandmother died. My brother Tamar had a baby, then the year after my brother Jamar had a baby. You know, both by their longtime girlfriends and high school sweethearts and things like that. So, you know, given how things go in urban society or the hood, however you want to put it, it wasn't that bad. It was like, okay, well, telling him he got to do his chores, or you can't go outside until your homework is done, or you can't have your Game Boy back until this, and that, or you on punishment. He didn't care. He gave not one fuck. I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you how many people he stayed with that have taken him in. I've never seen anybody be taken in by so many people. So many people. Even me, before I even had an apartment in the city that I live now, I sent from my brother because I heard he was living on the streets. I couldn't deal with that at that point. This is years later, of course. I'm in my 20s at this point. I'm 22, so he's 23. But before that, it's like, you know, him and the girls that he would deal with fall out because he didn't want to work. He didn't want to contribute. It was just high school shit. Like, instead of getting a job, I'm ditching that. I'm cutting class. I'm trying to go smoke and drink with the partners. But the partners ain't got shit to offer you. Like, I could see if they had something to offer him besides just hanging and, you know, aspiring to do shit. But niggas wasn't on shit. I mean, even when my brother started doing beats, and man, he was really fucking good at beats. I got a song of his, beat of his that I did a song to, but I really wish I had a lot more. One of my biggest regrets is not doing our mixtape together, our album together when I had the chance, you know, but I thought I was going to do one album, one producer, another album, one producer, so I gave it my full focus. But we ended up falling out when I brought him up there to live with me for a year. We ended up falling out because he wouldn't work. It was the same old shit with everybody. He wouldn't work. Then, you know, after so long of trying to push him to work or whatever, he want to fight. He want to, you know, settle it the ye old fashioned way and put your fucking dukes up and shit like that. Like, that was bro. He was very much macho, but he'd cry about it later. You know what I mean? And not be afraid to show you his tears and tell you how he feels. But it was very much that, you know, I don't know if some of y'all have cried on him. My brother was a Gemini. But some of the shit he did, man, it fucked me up. Because growing up as a kid, there was my brothers, man, they might as well have been God. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have my dad. I had passed down memories of my dad. I had home videos that ended up getting lost, VCR tapes and stuff. I didn't have my dad. I had my little sister and my mom. That's all I had. So, in return, those summers that I spent with my brothers, when I was away from them, I carried every single experience with me. Every word I hung on. Everything that happened, I hung on. And good or bad, because I was, you know, all kids fight. I used to fight with my brothers and stuff like that. I was no punk or nothing. But it was just like, I still idolized them. You know, they were taller than me. They were faster than me. The girls liked them. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. They would put me on the stuff like big brothers are supposed to do. You know, so I just always wondered what happened to my brother when I got him. Because when I got my brother, the young man that I knew who was out there darkness and spread it. You know what I mean? We love Dave Chappelle. That shit's funny to us, you know? Me and him are the darker ones out of our siblings, too, so it's kind of a funny little inside thing. You know what I mean? But to lose him, and I've been dreading it for so long, it broke me down. I can't say it didn't. I can't say it didn't really fuck me up. Because it did. And it's still fucking me up. Here it is. What is it? January something? Like, it's about to be the beginning of February. Still haven't even laid my brother to rest because this COVID shit got everything prolonged. How the fuck it take 2 months to bury somebody? Nick, I'm trying to tell you, like, some of the shit I've been through in my life just ain't cool. That shit, losing my brother like that, getting a call from my auntie, hearing how her voice was and everything. Then my brother afterwards having to tell my sister and hear her scream and cry. Yo, that shit wasn't cool. I don't give a fuck how anybody feels about how I feel about my brother. I loved him. Oh, drugs and all. I loved him. Went and spent hours on the block circling around the same motherfucking block looking for him. More than once. Because I need to see him while I'm down here. I came to see my family, right? He ain't family. That's my family. Shit, nigga didn't go too far. He was always right there on the block. Right there on fucking Foothill and shit like that. Like, right over there, if anybody knows San Bernardino, right by the DMV and by Stater Brothers. He used to be right there by King's Liquor Store. He used to be right over there every single fucking day. And now he's gone. So when shit like, you know, Tasha K, Cardi B, all that other stuff happens, man, I'm dealing with real shit. I'm dealing with real shit. Man, I'm trying to, you know, and part of why I do these videos is because I need to express something. I need to get something else out there than just doing my normal 9 to 5 and my normal being a father and stuff. I need to get other things out there. I need to express myself in a different way than music, because that's, you know, it's difficult at times. With anybody who does music, you know, you can't just always just stop and drop everything and record. So, with that being said, I'm trying to find different avenues to break myself out of this current situation I'm in that has my family held back because we're dying. I can't tell you how many family members I done lost because it's been so fucking many. So many. Since my dad died, it's just been a snowball effect of just bullshit setting motherfuckers back. Yeah, man. Like, where I could have been with some compliance, a little bit of teamwork, a little bit of real love for family, out of this world. I'd probably be, you know what I mean, running something really big right now. I ain't even gonna say what, but I'd probably be, you know, some CEO type shit right now if I had that, instead of just being undermined completely. And I feel like the death of my brother is definitely an undermining. Yeah, you know, being hopeful in your mind and thinking you got enough time to get your shit together to go and rescue somebody again and you know, whisk them off somewhere where they can't get access to drugs, where they have to get their life together or at least get back to normality. It's a very large pipe dream that I had, and now it's just gone. So now I have this, what seems irrational fear, but it's not. I have this fear of, damn, who the fuck else in my family is gonna go crazy next? Who else in my family is gonna decide not to do the right thing to the point where it's gonna be detrimental to all of us? Because this shit affects all of us. You know what I mean? Like, I be wanting to talk to my niece sometimes, and I'll start a text or something like that. When I say my niece, I mean my brother's oldest child. I'll be wanting to say something sometimes, but then I just don't know what to say. What do you say to somebody who watched their father spiral out of control and become homeless on drugs and not do anything to try to help them, even though they say they love them? What do you say to somebody who's been through that? You know, I know your daddy loved you and all this other stuff, and I don't know how she feels. I can ask her how she feels, but I don't know if I'm ready for that conversation via text. I've been saving a lot of conversations for my family members so I can have them face to face. You know what I mean? I just feel like a lot of this, that's what's going on right now, can be solved if we all came together. But that is one of the hardest things to do when everybody's in their individual corner dealing with their own individual problems. There's not one person who's able to break free of the system that we put in and do something that's better to put the rest of us on, put us in position to be able to access these things in a different way. It's not there yet. I'm trying to get there. My other brother's trying to get there. You know, this shit is not easy. It is not. Motherfuckers just make it look good, I swear to you. You know what I mean? Some of the shit that we've been through, that people think that I don't know happened, they not ready for that conversation. There's a lot of people not ready for conversations with me because I want answers, and sometimes I just feel like it's better to not poke the bee's hive, because it's like I ain't gonna really get shit out of it but strife and misunderstanding and pain and separatism and stuff, because that seems to be what happens when you come to people with harsh truths that they don't want to face at the time. They try to force you out or make you seem like you crazy for bringing up something just because it hurts. No, we got to get through the hurt. If we don't get through it together, then we all gonna die separately, alone, like what's been happening to us. I can't tell you how many funerals I missed because I can't take off of work from previous jobs and things like that. I didn't have any fucking bereavement until I got to my current job. They wouldn't talk about none of that. Either you show up or you fired type shit. Give a fuck about what I'm going through. It was the same thing when I had my son. They didn't care if I had my son. So you coming into work, right? I said, no. Legally, I got this time off. They was blowing my phone up still. Oh, can you just come? Oh, can you just... No. People are fucking crazy, man. They just want what they want about you. They don't give a damn about you. And I think at some point, and this is what, you know, gets me fucked up when I get to thinking about my brother. Now, in the human part, you see how much that hurts me bringing him up. You see how much it just hurts talking about him and even getting into detail with stuff. It hurts on the human side. But on the spiritual side, he did not fuck with this reality. Whatever this reality is to him, or was to him, this illusion, he wasn't part of it. He wasn't about to do nothing in it that anybody wanted him to do, because he was rejecting it. You know what I mean? Now, I've been told my whole life that, you know, my brother's mom did drugs when she was pregnant with him and didn't take care of him well, and my dad had to come and take physical custody of his son because nobody else gave a shit. You know what I mean? It couldn't be the back and forth parenting type thing. It just had to be, I'm taking my baby. anybody who had